Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Wacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ikiwa ni tarehe 21 mwezi wa Dhulhijja mwaka 1440 sawia na tarehe 22 ya mwezi Agosti mwaka 2019. Karibu katika Sabah Show, awamu ya uchambuzi wa magazeti, tukipeperusha katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi katika msikiti wa Jamia. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal, nikiwa kwa niaba ya Mariam Wacharo, na ili kuweza kuchanganua magazeti haya siko peke yangu, niko na Odada Rinda, karibu sana, na niko na Abubakar Mushiri, karibu sana. Habari zenu za usubuhi? Mko vyema? Tukiangalia gazeti la kwanza ambao ni The Standard, the front page says Kenyans return Kenya shillings 25 billion hidden in old bank notes. 25 billion katika harakati ya kuweza kuregesha pesa za zamani, haswa noti ya shilingi 1000. So far 25 billion since Madaraka Day. 25 billion. I'm so sure it was maybe stashed in the houses.
Yeah, you know, the issue of changing of currency started with the new constitution after the promulgation, because as the constitution stated, there was supposed to be a currency change, but it took time, 9 years to effect it. But the government, the CBK, has, you know, we have seen the currency, you know, the transition working purely well, but you know, in a way, some politicians, you know, in the bid, you know, as much as they were following the constitution, they tried politicizing this, and you know, they said it's a way for the corrupt leaders, you know, to the money that they have stolen, because when a politician or someone corrupt or someone working in a corporation steals maybe 500 million shillings, the person will not go to put it in KCB or a local bank. What they do is probably, you know, they keep it in their houses, or they go to banks abroad in Switzerland and keep the money. So in one way it was in the direction of following the constitution, and in another way it was a form of fighting corruption, because, you know, now we have seen, you know, by October 1st, anyone who has the old currency of 1,000 notes, then the money will have no value. I mean, it will be papers that you are holding. So if you had stolen money, kept it in your bedroom, then you have to find means. It's either you spend it, or you either look for transactions which will lead it to, you know, get into the market. But we hope that by October 1st, you know, the transition will be completely done, and it's not only about the changing of the currency, but we should also look at, you know, what is the value of a currency in the outside market. Recently, the dollar has been strengthening. I remember, you know, in the 80s and 90s, you know, one US dollar could be 75 Kenyan shillings. You know, during independence, you know, the word mbao came from that 1 pound was 20 shillings. But look at what is happening right now. Our currency is devaluing, so we should not only focus on the currency change. We need to look for ways to strengthen our currency, because it affects how we import our products, it affects how we export our products, and, you know, imports and exports are a source of income for the country. And if we cannot control the currency, then we will be in a problem. So as much as we are talking about the currency change, it's very essential that the CBK looks at how can we increase the value of our currency in Kenya.
Odada, do you think the government should focus more on how to strengthen our shilling rather than focusing on changing our notes?
That is debatable. There was an argument that I once had that even if someone stole money, let's say someone stole like 500 billion Kenya shillings, and of course my submission won't be in support of stealing money. I'm just saying that even if someone stole money, I was told they can hardly eat all that money. Reason being that even after stealing this money, they are still going to invest. Even as they invest, they're still going to ensure that this money is circulating in the market. This money is going to circulate back to the economy. The problem that is happening, the problem we are having with our nation is a situation whereby people withdraw a lot of money, and then they stash that money in their homes, and then this money, after they stashed it in their homes, it is not circulating in the economy. So the economy is stuck. A few amount of people control a huge chunk of money, which is not flowing anywhere. So I think besides strengthening our currencies, this was a nice move, because at least finally this money will be flowing. Because what I know is, if by the date this announcement was made, someone had a huge amount of money stashed in their house, they had to start spending it, either invest it somewhere or buy something, and that is what is required in an economy, not money being stuck in a given place. But and yes, we need to strengthen our money. I see a situation whereby probably in 2030 we'll be having $1 equaling 300 shillings or $1 million like in Zimbabwe.
Our shilling will be valueless. Yeah. When you look at the front page, it says how Kitani gave Linturi millions of shillings. She loved his children, took blended family on extravagant holidays. It started as a fling and blossomed into costly marriage, turning ugly. It's all over the news.
Yeah, you know, first it's unfortunate that, you know, newspapers have to focus on people's lives.
It's news.
Yeah, it's, you know, yeah, they're politicians.
You'll go and buy the newspaper. That's the main thing.
They're in the limelight, but you know, the situation in which Linturi found himself it's quite unfortunate. You know, they have spilled the beans that, you know, this was the kind of relationship we are having, this is what we are happening, this is how much money we gave, this the car that, you know, that was used, these are traditional ceremonies and such. But, you know, I think, you know, it's a reflection, you know, look at how celebrities or how people who are in the limelight live their lives. You know, you have musicians, let me say, for example, these people are living lives that they, you know, that are within their level. Because you want to create a name outside there, you want to look like you're doing well, maybe you're not. And, you know, look at the celebrity marriages, people who are popular, two popular people getting married. How long does it last? It's an issue of society, you know, culture, morals, ethics that needs to be embedded in the society. Because we are having too many divorce cases. Divorce cases are increasing, the rates are increasing. We have, you know, marriages are just not working because I think our cultural system does not have in it to teach people, because in the past, the traditional system, you know, right now we are more in urban, we are more urbanized, you know, we are more, you know, what we call civilization. But, you know,
driven by social media.
Yeah. in the past, you know, what could happen if, you know, before marriage or before something, people will go for a sitting somewhere for like 2 weeks and they are taught by the elder women, and the young men will go somewhere and they are taught. As much as we cannot have that today, I think there should be organizations or religious institutions or people who feel that there is need for to change what is happening in the society, that there should be, you know, seminars and workshops to teach people, you know, not only how to live in marriages, but only how to live with people, because you have people killing each other for no reasons in marriages, domestic violence, gender-based violence, we have murders, you know. It's something that, you know, somebody should come up and, you know, take that step so that it changes in the society, because this is one case, and we only know of this because the people involved are popular. But what about the rest of the community? It's a problem which needs to be tackled, and someone needs to take a step, you know, to teach the young people before marriage and embed morals and ethics in the society which have been eroded by urbanization.
Nice one. The Taifa leo inasema kwamba curfew nchi yote usiku wa sensa. Hakuna kuangalia boli usiku, unafaa kukaa nyumbani. Kukaa nyumbani na kuweza kuhesabiwa. Dada, I think it pains you. Asa ukisikia kwamba hakuna kuwatch boli, and maybe that night Manu is playing with Chelsea. That hot game. How will it affect you?
Much as what you say might be factually incorrect. It's Liverpool versus Arsenal, right?
Oh, so I'm almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there.
I'm almost there.
Much as I'm not a fan of either of the teams, I'll go and watch. I'll go and watch. I'm a football fan. I'll go watch that game. I don't think it's sensible for them to do census at night. I remember in 2009, I remember the census was done during the day. I don't see the big difference why this time around it has to be at night. And then again, some people are claiming that actually the football game between Liverpool and Arsenal is probably bigger than Kenya. So they are saying they just have to watch that game. I think a number of people will be sleeping in their cells. And then again, now on a serious approach, if you're going to have people to open their doors at night for census, if I was a criminal, for instance, I'm not saying I'm a criminal.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a big if. If I was a criminal, I would very likely use this as an advantage, because if normally someone would not open their door past a given time, but right now there is census, you'll obviously open your door if someone knocks, and let's say that person comes before the people who are supposed to count you. That is posing a lot of risk to the people. So I don't think it's a nice move. And then again, we just have to watch football.
Abubakar is
I'm a Liverpool fan. I have to say that. I'm a Liverpool fan.
You have to stay at home and being counted.
No, I cannot stay at home. I think Matenge is going too far on this. Yeah, census is very important. It's very essential for this country. And but how, yes, you have limited people from going outside, to watch the match or past 5 p.m. What he's saying is that clubs and I don't know, social places will be closed before 5 p.m. How will it enhance the census program or the procedure that they are doing? Because one, you cannot be a census, enumerators. They cannot be knocking at someone's door at 8 p.m. They are coming to count people. Is it counting people or is it supper that they are coming for? So we should not limit people to that extent. Beef up security because it is essential. People are in their homes and such. But we cannot limit human beings to that extent. Some degree of freedom is needed. During the day, official working hours is 8 to 5. Conduct the census, the counting from 8 to 5. We'll have no problem with that. Kenyans are willing to cooperate. And they're saying that some Kenyans, it's social media, it's just a joke about it, but people are willing to cooperate, but you do not have to push them to that extent. Conduct census during the day, all will be well.
Okay, PD, People's Daily, says, why Sosion is in deep trouble. Teachers Union boss is in a fight for his life as top officials plot to oust him in amid reports. It says here, people are complaining that he makes decisions solely, he doesn't consult others. He's a one-man ranger. So right now, he's only gotten 9 out of 38 of official support. So do you think he's going down? It's a balance. It's his time to step down and other people to.
No, Sosion has been a very effective NAT official, to say so, as Secretary General in that matter. But the issue I think started with when there was political interference in it. Because the purpose of a workers' union official is, talk for the rights of the workers, talk for the rights of the teachers, talk about the salaries, talk about the, signed memorandum of association that were not fulfilled and such, which he was doing perfectly well. Until, I don't know, he, showed some alienation to the opposition at that time, which was NASA, and he got nominated to a certain seat in a member of parliament, and he took the seat, So it created, a workers' union is something that should be, do not have bias in it, because these teachers are from all political divisions, but what unites them is that they are in the same career, and you are there in that organization not to bring politics in it, but serve the people in the fact that you are fighting, you are talking on their behalf, because you cannot have the teachers expressing their rights on the individual capacity. But after that political interference, we see that the wrangles arose, because you have a person is holding 2 seats, is being told release one of the seats and hold on to one. You have no problem with whatever you choose, but release one of the seats. And that's where the division started. And an issue again that happens not only for Sosion but in many African countries, we want to be in power for too long. Sosion has been there, he has done his job, he has been a good Secretary General, but he wants to stay there for too long. And it's Zimbabwe has undergone this, Uganda has undergone this. Despite, having served a term of legacy, doing well in your job, I think when it's time to go, it's time to go. Leave the chance for the others to do. And despite whatever you did, good or bad, for the demerits I could pose on him is, opposing the new curriculum for no reason and such, but Sosion has been a good leader to a certain capacity, but when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Odada, will come back to you after the break. Na mtazamaji, kumbuka ni uchambuzi wa magazeti. Tupate pumziko fupi, tutarejea baada muda usiokuwa mrefu.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Karibu katika uchambuzi wa magazeti awamu yetu ya pili. Odada, kabla hatujachukua pumziko fupi, ulikuwa unataka kueleza kuhusiana na masuala ya Sosion. Maoni yako gani? Naona kwamba ni siasa ama ni wakati wake kuweza kujiuzulu?
Nitatumia Kiingereza. First of all, Sosion has served well. That is without doubt. But then again, there's a saying that even the best dancers know when to leave the stage. Dance well enough, but then you get to know when to leave a stage. But then there is a point that I must actually defend Sosion on. You know, being a member of the House, being a member of the Parliament, and someone should correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Sosion has ever come out to defend the opposition at any single point. The opposition nominated him for a position to fight for the rights of the teachers in NAT. He is a leader in the teachers union, and he's been appointed as their leader to fight for their rights. That is two positions I don't dispute, but I think they're interlinked to one position. Because for instance, Babu Owino is the Secretary General to, I don't know, Kenya Young Parliamentarians, something of the sort. So I think his position as appointment in NAT made it easier for him to fight for the rights of the teachers in the Parliament. So it might be politicized, it might be interpreted in a very different way, I know. And I know that NAT has people across all the political sides and political divides. But then I don't think it should be a big deal, especially if you don't see him in campaigns. I've never seen him with the head of the opposition. And by the way, why is it a big deal now that we have the handshake? We are in a handshake.
Abu Bakr has different sentiments. In brief,
he's saying that, you know, that he was appointed by the opposition to fight for the rights of teachers in Parliament. I mean, it doesn't make sense. He was perfectly doing. That's why we have a union. Otherwise, we'll be having a nominated member of Parliament for doctors in Parliament. If that were the case, we'll be having such for lecturers for all, you know. But you know, he was doing his job well as single-handedly as a Sec General for NAT, but you know, political interference. He was given the seat. You know, we cannot blame him for being appointed.
Briefly, we focus on something else.
We cannot blame him for being appointed. But the moment you accept the seat, it means that you have taken a political camp. As much as you have taken the seat, you have taken a political camp, and the teachers that you're supposed to lead no longer view you as their leader, but they also, that sense of, I belong to a different political division, you know, maybe it just takes away the credit. And it's an issue, it's not, especially in universities. We have student leaders, but what happens is that when you are trying to speak for the right of the people, you know, some seed is planted, a bad seed is planted of opposition. You want to oppose everything for no reason. You want to fight with the administration in the university. You want to do, that's why you find many student leaders end up suspended, expelled from universities. And the same case, you know, arose especially when the issue of the curriculum came. That, you know, you want to oppose instead of have a dialogue at times, which is very essential.
Dada, briefly.
Yeah, my last input. One, the parliament has special slots for appointments. These appointments are there for special groups. We've had a nation whereby almost every other year, the NAT members, the teachers go on a strike, lecturers go on a strike. That is a matter of national concern. I think it's only important that someone is there to be part of the legislation, part of making the laws. Being nominated to parliament doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fight for them. You're going to be part of making laws that are there even in the future. And if you ask me, I don't think it matters the side you're in. It just matters the input you make there. So you're saying we may need to have representatives for lecturers and everyone. But I think if something becomes a national concern, like the youth, women, that is why you have women rep. That is why we have the youth representatives in the Senate and the Parliament. I think that is the reason why we had that. And yes, it's politics.
Let's change the subject to look at Business Daily. Says Uber riders to pay 29% more in a win for drivers. This comes weeks after Bolt removed Bolt Go. The drivers used to complain that the fares, the money they get is too little, but when you look at it, Kenyans who are benefiting in one way or the other. So many people now using online to taxi. Do you think it's the right move? It's their right. Briefly? Yeah,
it's very essential for drivers, because what Uber was doing, they put low rates. They put low rates for you know, transport, lower rates than other taxi firms. But it led to interference. It led to the Uber drivers interfering with the mechanics of it, because they are getting so little from it. And these people who have invested their time, invested their money in the business, and so in a way it was you know, pressing upon, you know, the rights of drivers. It's positive that they have risen the percentage to 29%, 28% increase. It's quite reasonable for the drivers, and but you know, we should have that sense of a consensus in terms of pricing, because we can, if for example, not only in the taxi market but in other goods, if you have a person giving goods at very lower rates and taking the farm, it's almost a bid to take the farms out of the market and then increase later when you are dominant. So Uber has done the right thing, and but it's necessary for them, Uber, Taxify and such taxi firms, to have an agreed pricing in such that they do not press on the rights of the drivers, and also try to give it affordable prices.
Daily Nation front page says Uhuru Raila plan tour to rally support for BBI draft. Is it politics? Is it a handshake for peace? Briefly, Dada, before we go into a very good topic in Daily Nation's newspaper.
Well, normally, I think it's obviously politics. You don't have to ask whether it's politics or not. Normally before the handshake, we'd see the president and his deputy working hand in hand. And recently, we've been seeing the president and the opposition. Okay, should I say former opposition? Okay, let me just say the NASA leader, Raila Odinga, working hand in hand. So whatever launch they're doing, whatever projects they're doing together, it may be in the good of the Kenyans, but we cannot overlook the political bit of it. Yeah.
Page 3 of Nation, Daily Nation says Kadzora, rodent delicacy that has many salivating. You love meat, right?
No, I don't do meat.
You're vegetarian?
Yeah.
Really, really?
I am.
Not even chicken.
I am. Though I
vegan.
wouldn't advise anyone watching this to be vegan before 25, because the animal protein is very vital in your growth. You see, I'm very tall. I dropped meat at a given age, so it's only healthy that you do meat till a given age.
But
So
I think you should try kadzora. We call it kadzora.
no, right now I'm vegan.
You should try kadzora.
No, but-
It's a rodent delicacy that has been eaten for many years in Mijikenda community, particularly Giriama. It's known for many years. I haven't eaten, but I think you should try. Abubakar, do you know? What do you call it in your own language? We call it kadzora.
You call it kadzora. We have a weird name, but it's called Bernard something. Bernard. I know Bernard. It's a person's name, but it's what it's called. Yeah, it's English, but it's what we call it in our community. Very few people consume. It's from it. The ones we have in our grandparents' home. Their structure is like that of rats, but they are a bit bigger. They are a bit bigger.
No, iko Kiswahili tunaita panyabuku.
I'm poor in Kiswahili. Anyway, people eat, but very few in our community eat. But you know, we have cultures. Each and every community has its own tradition, things that they're used to. And as long as the meat is healthy, then it's fine. But you know, we have also issue of again in our community, we had people hunting for, I don't know, I forget the English name, but there are some also forest food, and people die out of it and such. So we should also, the issue of health should be a concern to us, because yes, you want to consume cheap food because you just go set a trap or something and consume it, but it might be a health hazard. You do not know, it might cause poisoning to you. You might die out of.
But when you look at it, so many countries, even Kenya, now eating bugs, eating cockroaches, eating scorpions as a delicacy. So even kadzora will come to that end.
Cockroaches.
That's too much. Are we running out of food?
It's a way.
I don't know.
It's a way of conserving our environment.
How do you conserve environment by eating things like the rodent? You know, you are interfering with the ecosystem.
The rodents are okay.
Rodents are
The
okay.
kadzora are okay.
Because
there
are many.
I have friends who
just
eat
like
snails.
cockroaches. People who eat cockroaches.
Cockroaches is weird, but I have friends who eat snails.
sounds nice
I have friends
and
who eat
tasty.
snails. They go to banana plantations and collect the snails and they cook them. I don't know.
Is your friend Chinese?
Not Chinese, they are African, but you know,
See?
open to adventure.
It's
Okay.
too adventurous
Have you
for
been
life.
conned online?
Personally?
Yeah, personally.
I have.
Okay. On page 24 of Daily Nation says, con months, victims report to police. One of the 70 people within Mombasa County who were conned of their money by a woman purporting to be a recruitment agent for a foreign journalist outside Urban Police Station in Mombasa, expressing her anger yesterday. Most of those who were conned were youth who went to an extent of securing small loans to facilitate the payments. We always are conned online. When do we learn? When do
I
you
don't know.
call it quits?
We are so susceptible to easy things as human beings, especially as Kenyans. We want things to go fast. We want things to. That's why we have so many loan apps. That's why we have a lot of things online. Okay, I know. There are so many shopping sites online in other countries, but then we want easy things. So if you want easy things, someone exploits that weakness in our nation. Someone sits down and some people even design websites, legit websites that. If you go through that website and you go through everything, you'll get the impression that it's actually legit. Yet this website is created to con you. There are cases, I've heard of cases whereby some people booked a ghost hotel in Mombasa for December holidays. And when they went there, they realized they were conned. When they go to the hotel, they're not in the system. So I think it's the easy way of life that we're trying to achieve in Kenya. And then our ethics as well. People want to get easy money. So conning online is happening a lot. People tend to believe in things very easily. I think that is the problem. And I wouldn't blame any of the parties. You know, this guy wants money, you want easy things.
He was conned. He can feel the pain.
Actually, it's my brother who was conned. You know, online, you know, how much has technology improved our lives? How much has it eased our lives? Online working, people work online, they make a living out of it, they make an income out of it. People do very many things online. It has simplified our lives. But like everything in this world, we have advantages and disadvantages of something. And such are the disadvantages of online stuff. But you know, we cannot prevent the issue of conning online or stealing. You know, these are issues that affect society each and everywhere in the globe. But it depends on the level of it. If we do not have cyber crimes or such, or a country invading another systems, you know, stealing from banks and such, then for the conning that we, you know, simple conning individual, then that we can deal with it, we can cope with that. But on our side, you know, before you buy that thing online, how much do you verify? Before you give money telling you that I'm an agent of this firm, I'm a salesperson for this thing, I'll sell you this at a cheaper price, you have a discount somewhere. Before that person, you give them the money to the person, what extent do you go in verification of the document? Because this is money that you have worked for, it's money that you have sweated for, but you just don't give easily. And you know, unfortunately, it's something that the conmen have to be there, thieves have to be there. So it's an issue of verification. On our side, we cannot prevent it from happening, but the much we can do is verify to the much that we can. And if then we to the extent that we have done all we can, but we still lose some amount of money, then it happens everywhere. People lose money. You can be pickpocketed. You can have 1,000 shillings in the house and you lose it. So it's a norm. Yes.
Okay, sawa. Na mtazamaji, tupate pumziko fupi, tarejea baada muda usiokuwa mrefu. Kumbuka bado tuna mengi ambayo tumeweza kuandalia katika uchambuzi wa magazeti. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
ndipo siku ya kiyama moja kwa moja ikaitwa yaumut talaq, siku ya kukutana. Kwa nini? Liannahu yaltaqi fihi alkhalq walkhaliq, viumbe watakutana na muumba, kama alivyosema Qatada na Muqatil. Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala katika Qur'ani yasema rafi'ud darajati dhul arshi. Rafi'ud darajat, yeye ndiye mwenye vyeo vya juu kabisa, tena mwenyezi. Yulqi ruha min amrihi ala man yasha'u min ibadihi, hupeleka wahi wa amri yake kwa amtakaye katika waja wake. Liyundhira yawmat talaq, ili aonye siku ya kukutana naye.
on the next episode.
A house wherein Surah Al-Baqarah is recited, la yadkhuluhu shaitan. Shaitan will never enter that house. So if you recite Surah Al-Baqarah in a house, in your home, you are protecting yourself from Satan, from shaitan.
On the next episode.
Waambie mimi sitofata matamanio ama hawa za nafsi zenu. Hii hawa ndiyo pingamizi na ndiyo kikwazo kikubwa kabisa kwa watu katika imani, au kuwa ni watiifu na wanyenyekevu kwa Allah tabaraka wa taala. Miongoni mwa itba'ul hawa ni fi'lul muharram, ni mtu kufanya yale ambayo yaliyoharamishwa. Ukijaribu kuangalia baina alhalali wal haram, dairatul halali awsa.
On the next episode,
I love to pray. I worship Allah. I love Allah.
I was more happier when I followed the Prophet's Sunnah. Allah had my back when no one did, so I pleased Him by trying to resist what He forbade.
We all love Allah. He gave us the sun and the moon and the stars. Pray Salah, pray 5 times a day. These are the pillars of Islam. Pray 5 times a day. Betty Butter bought some butter, but the butter was bitter.
on the next episode.
Baadhi yetu kwenda kule haji, ama mtu anaenda haji, wakati ule badala ya kunyanyua mikono kumlilia Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, baadhi yetu tuko katika story za ball, story za siasa, story za nchi zetu, story za comedy. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Ama wengine wanaenda na simu pale, yuko katika Arafa, ni maselfie anapiga akitumia watu katika nchi zao. Wallahi ni mafadhaiko makubwa, ni masikitiko makubwa. Watu wanakuja wanafanya baadhi ya vituko ambazo kwamba si nzuri. Mtu anakuja katika uwanja wa Eid na t-shirt kina picha la Kidube, picha ya Bob Marley. Watu wanakuja kumtukuza Allah, wao wanakuja na miji picha ya Bob Marley, picha ya Cristiano.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Karibu katika awamu yetu ya tatu na ya mwisho uchambuzi wa magazeti. Kipindi ni Sabah Show, nikifanya kwa niaba ya Mariam Mwacharo. Tukiendelea na gazeti letu la Standard, ukurasa wa pili ni kwamba Sudanese celebrate power sharing deal. Sudan forms and swears in 11-member ruling council. After weeks long of protest and revolution, it has come to a solution. Do you think revolution is important? Odada.
It's relative. If you ask me, it's relative. I once read a poem about the civil wars in Chad. And then I can't remember exactly the whole poem, but I remember the last stanza of that poem was saying that welcome your Ganjesty. Instead of majesty, it's Ganjesty. And the people are saying that we are not very sure whether if the next revolution comes, they'll find anyone. They're saying the next revolution, the leaders will find the bones. So either the time revolution happens and a new leader gets to power, I don't know. I'm not very sure they're going to bring any different system. What makes us think that the new 11 appointed leaders and every other person are going to be fair, or are going to be genuine, or are going to be honest to themselves? I think if we change, if they're able to do a paradigm shift and just totally change from this opinion of holding power for long enough, it can help. But I cannot quite promise that is the last revolution, because even after that revolution, those 11 people who get to power, they'll realize how drunk one can get from power and how lucrative it is that they won't want to quit again. You know, unless they get institutional reforms and laws in place, it might be a short-lived celebration, if you ask me. But I'm happy for them, though.
I'm happy for them. Okay, on page 5 of the Standard says 30 charged over nearly attacks. 8 students aged between 17 and 18 are among the 30 who were caught and charged in Mombasa law courts. The ones who terrorized people of Mombasa at a young age, Abubakar, they're usually very young. Do you think our future generation will be affected?
Of course, if these are the kind of young people that you have, these are our teenagers, you know, in Mombasa, then it's very unfortunate and it's saddening. But again, it's from the systems that we have. It's through, you know, these people, they use machetes or pangas, you know, to terrorize people. They cut people, you know, without mercy at all. They are under influence of drugs. You know, they are consuming hard drugs, narcotics. The hardest of narcotics, you'll find them at the coast. You'll find them there. People, they are unemployed. They have nothing to do. The drug cartels or the drug lords, the best market they can find for these drugs are the young people, the idle people, you know. So to some extent, you know, yes, it's very positive that they have been charged, and prosecution will be very necessary, because it will teach, you know, the rest of the community, the rest of the young people that could be influenced in future to get involved in such, to keep off. So they should be prosecuted and if possible charged. But also we should look at it, drug abuse, unemployment, these are issues affecting our society, and you know, these are the roots that are leading to what we have in the society. So the security system, they should look at how can we limit through the ports is where the drugs get in. How can we limit drug trade at the coast? And they should also beef up security to ensure that the citizens, the residents of the coast province, you know, they can sleep peacefully at night, because that's why you have the Ministry of Interior Security. That is what they are mandated to do. And unemployment also, it's an issue that we should look. As much as the government cannot do much, we say that there is unemployment, the government is failing on its part, but crying won't help us. But it's for us as individuals, look at something, as young people especially, look at something constructive that you can do. Not only if you are 18 or 19, but you have graduated, you have not been able to find a job. Start a small business that can bring an income. Work for something, you know, just get involved into something, and maybe it will be a way throughout for you financially.
You want the youth to start a business, but where will they get the capital to start such a business? They need capital. Yeah,
of course, capital is needed. But before you start a business, you have to work for someone. You cannot just graduate and you want to start your business, because you need a certain amount of capital. But you know, it also goes back to our savings culture. When you might get a job, which requires you to have maybe 4 years experience, 3 years experience. Okay, now let's do a practical look at it.
Dada wants to comment also.
Assume you graduate with a Bachelor of Commerce, for example, in finance option. Then, if you are going to look for a job in the same career line, then it will be hard to find. Maybe you do not find a job. But what if you do not look at we have that sense, I'm a graduate, I cannot do minor jobs. What if you go to temporary jobs, casual jobs, and make, even if you earn 15 or 1,000 a day, or I myself in the past I've painted houses, and you're paid maybe 1,000 a day, or when you are starting 500 a day. If you can do such, you are not able to find a job. If you can do such for 1 year, 2 years, and you have a good savings culture, you can be able to save something and start your own self-income bringing thing.
Do you share the same sentiments?
In our society, the elite lie to us. They come dressed in suits like mine, and then they tell us that do not look forward to be employed. Look forward to employing yourself. The question is, how are we supposed to employ ourselves? If after graduation you're broke, if after graduation you don't even have a single penny, and we're being told to employ ourselves in a community and a society and in an economic setup where Nakumat, a very giant supermarket, closed down, Uchumi are having employees striking because they're not getting paid in time, and then someone is still telling you to come up with your own business. I'm not against the idea of coming up with your own business. I'm just against the hypocrisy. This is a narrative that is being passed down to the corporate world to come and tell us to come up with our own businesses, so that we can run away from the real things on the ground. One, I'm a telecommunication engineering student. You cannot tell me I'll be studying telecommunication engineering for 5 years and then this nation is unable to absorb me. If someone graduates from school and doesn't get a job, the first blame is on the government. Because why give us free primary education? Why subsidize secondary education? Why subsidize my campus education, then end me up without a job. So I think much as there is business and self-employment, the first thing you're supposed to see through as a nation is that we employ our people. Not everyone can come up with a business. I can't start a business of selling, say, switches and telecommunication devices, and you start the same business, someone else starts the same business, and then we have businesses all through. Who are going to be the ones who are employing in this? Who are going to run these businesses? Nice. So I think it's a lie that the government is feeding to us to escape from their own undoings.
Thank you so much. Yeah. The Star, page 9 says, nurse loses appeal to quash jail for procuring abortion to Form 4. Let me read at least 2 paragraphs. It says here, a nurse was jailed for 4 years for procuring an abortion for a 17-year-old Form 4 student has lost a bid to reverse his sentence. He faced a second count of killing an unborn child by administering drugs to the minor that prevented the child from being born alive. Abortion, abortion, abortion.
It's a sad state of affairs. We want to do things and learn from the consequences. The only unfortunate thing in this case is that the consequence of whatever action, not whatever action, you know what that lady did. The consequence of the choice that lady took is a human being, is an unborn human being. So that's a human being who has not been given a choice to live. He or she has been denied the choice to live, or the choice to come up and finally make their own choice. So I don't think it's fair. Then again, come to think of it, this lady is the one who wanted the abortion. Abortions are illegal, but this lady wanted the abortion. So it's like a situation whereby we blame both sides. But then again, as a nurse, you're supposed to comply. Supposed to comply with the regulations in the medical field. So if the regulation states that you're not supposed to do an abortion unless the life of the mother is at a threat, I think she should have considered the legal implications. But then again, the lady wanted the abortion.
Yesterday in one of the newspapers, I saw a bid or an attempt, that they should take it to Parliament, that they should lower the adulthood age from 18 to 16. One, yeah, actually it was there. Actually, that would lead, to more abortions to that extent, because you are giving the people freedom to sex, to be honest. But again, I always believe that, human beings are royal. Unless you limit a person to what he should do, then the person will not live right. Unless you have a religion, I mean, if you do not have religions, many people will be doing worse things, because some say I'm doing this so that I do not go to hell. Actually, some very people who are strict on religion, the biggest fear they have is hell, actually. So first, for the nurses, we cannot, it's an unavoidable circumstance. You have to have that one nurse, that one doctor, that one teacher, that one who abuses the student, that one nurse who goes against. But what are the legislation that if a nurse helps in an abortion, the calamities that the person will undergo? And for the young people, how much are parents, talking about sex education to people, that it is essential that you teach someone that someone can take advantage of you, leave you pregnant, and vanish.
Let's leave it at it is by now. On page 23, on the Star says, be warned, water rationing in the city headed to crisis level. Vendors in some estates are selling 20-liter jerrycan at between 20 to 50 Kenya shillings. It says that the Ndakaini Dam, the city's main water supply, was 45% full. This is 31 million cubic meters of water, according to the Nairobi city. There's always water rationing in almost all the parts of Kenya. Still more water rationing.
I think.
Don't we know how to collect drain waters, or what's the problem?
I think as a nation we never learn. We just literally don't learn. Because at one point we are experiencing floods that is sweeping away vehicles in the same city that in a few months later is experiencing water rationing. I don't know what needs to be done, but we just don't learn. We're just there to handle things as they come. And then again, it again trickles down to our leaders, the people who are responsible for looking into these affairs. Because if we had leaders who were smart enough, I always have a belief that even somewhere in Turkana, water can be drilled and those people would not die of hunger. Irrigation can be done and everything. That never gets to happen. But then let's get back to Nairobi. How many times have we had water rationing over the years? If someone was there who's a strategic planner who gets to realize we experience these challenges, what do we do? That never happens. We lose millions of shillings in dam sagas. We get floods that sweep away our houses. Then a few months later, we get the same experience of water rationing. I think we just don't plan. That is the problem.
On page 13 of People's Daily, in the same topics, says drought hurting 23 countries. They say kwamba an estimated 2.6 million Kenyans across 23 countries that experience perennial drought are feeling the impact of the dry season. National Drought Management Authority said that prevailing drought is expected to worsen in the next month. Every year we experience at least twice of droughts in Kenya. Are we really prepared? Do we have the mechanism to fight drought? We've seen in other counties like Kitui and Makueni in the Ukambani areas, they have dealt with drought. We don't see that in the counties which are affected by droughts. What's the solution to drought, briefly?
Yeah, maybe we'll comment on it. First, we are to blame to some extent for drought because you are cutting trees. The water that you have, the rivers, you are putting garbage in them, industrial waste, the dams, you are spoiling them. And again, the issue of water, food and water, these are two parallel things. Recently, you have, especially in Northeastern, there have been a lot of irrigation schemes which have, the place is semi-arid, but we have irrigation schemes there. People are selling watermelons from there, irrigation is happening, there is food there. So it's about for you to talk about lack of food because of drought, look at how well are you utilizing water. We have a very big water reservoir under Turkana. The people are sitting on a water reservoir. The government is doing nothing about it. You want to build dams, there is corruption. People consume money, they never do something about it. We only need effective leaders. People who are serious with serving this our nation. People who are serious with changing the lives of the people.
Okay. Odada, your final comments. Drought.
As he said, we are sitting on a reservoir. Israel is among the countries that are situated in a very very dry land.
Like a country like Qatar, UAE,
even Egypt.
Even Egypt.
And all these countries are self-sustaining themselves economically. They are growing their own vegetables, they are growing their own fruits, they are growing everything. And then come to Kenya, we have one of the biggest lakes in the world, Lake Victoria. Next to us, we have rivers. And we have all the resources, but still we are experiencing drought year in, year out. Even if we did not have any of these resources. Basic planning. We could use basic planning because if last year we had drought, what do we do to curb this drought the following year? I think that is what's supposed to be done. Instead of, waiting for the drought to come and then politicians get to please them by bringing them a few handouts of unga here and there. It's a shame. It's disgusting if you ask me.
Let's finish up with such a good story. It depends on how you take it. Kenya wins Africa's vote to seek UN seat. If elected, Kenya will be temporarily join the elite club of the world powers, albeit with the veto powers on crucial resolution. And Kenya has been nominated as a candidate for United Nations Security Council seat after defeating Djibouti. Final, one comment.
First, it's very positive that we...
Okay, before I go on that, let's take a short commercial break and then we'll come back after the break. Na mtazamaji, tupate pumziko fupi, tutarejea baada muda usio mrefu.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ukamwambia aje? Naye akakwambia aje? Na ulimjibu? Nani wanalia hapo nyuma? Ni mtoto. Usikate, mpatie simu. Hello Junior. Okay. Patia mama simu.
Cheki usikate.
Usikate, ongea sana.
Usikate.
Wakenya hapitwi na stories. Story bonus imerudi na madrama na mavideo. Ongea zaidi au ongeza bonus kwa line yako. Ujipatie 200% story bonus plus 200 MB YouTube free kila siku.
Witinesa. Ona, lazima uone.
Usikate, pata soroko.
Nawe kila wakati. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ni kubwa na bora zaidi. Onyesho kubwa zaidi la biashara hapa jijini Nairobi. Onyesho la 4 la Dubai na Misri, Sarit Center, kuanzia tarehe 28 mwezi wa Agosti hadi tarehe 8 mwezi wa Septemba mwaka 2019. Nunua kwa wingi bidhaa za thamani kama vile fanicha, mazulia, vyombo vya jikoni, bidhaa za ngozi, nguo, mapambo ya nyumba, mapambo ya kina mama, mafuta halisi na bidhaa nyinginezo kutoka Dubai, Misri, India, Iran, Pakistan, Syria, Uturuki na Singapore. Usikose fursa ya kuzuru onyesho la biashara la 4 la Dubai na Misri, Sarit Center Westlands, kuanzia tarehe 28 mwezi wa Agosti hadi tarehe 8 mwezi wa Septemba mwaka 2019. Onyesho litakuwa wazi kila siku kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi hadi saa 2 usiku. Kiingilio ni bure.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Give us the sun and the moon and the stars. Pray Salah, pray 5 times a day. These are the pillars of Islam. Pray 5 times a day. Betty Butter bought some butter, but the butter was bitter.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Karibu katika awamu ya uchambuzi wa magazeti. Kipindi ni Sabah Show. Kabla hatujaweza kuchukua pumziko fupi, tulikuwa tunazungumzia kuhusiana Kenya wins Africa's vote to seek UN seat. Abubakar, you had a comment.
It's very positive that Kenya, has that African support, because we very much need it, because Africa has 55 countries and out of the 193 in the UN and such, it will be very essential for us to have the temporary seat, as much as it's not permanent. Ghana had it, Kofi Annan, now it's a turn for Kenya, because now unfortunately what affects us is you agree on something, you agree that this is an African country, we'll all support it, and then some get influenced. You see, some get influenced in one way or another for some benefits or for diplomatic issues. But how much will it help for Africa, for Kenya to be in that seat? It will put Kenya into the limelight more than it is right now. Right now, if you ask a person in the USA, probably only knows the 3 African countries: Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya. It will put Kenya into the limelight. It will bring more investors into this country because it's a show of capability to some extent that you are able to handle issues. It will bring investors to our country, help our economy grow and develop more diplomatic relations with other countries that will enable us, in receiving foreign aid and such. It's very essential, and I hope that we take the seat.
Odada, I want a comment from you from this final story. It says drugs are killing a generation. Leaders in Mandera warn drugs. It says here bang, hashish and chewing mira are considered the leading drug menace in Mandera. Our generation. Final comment. You as a youth.
It's a sad state of affairs. We are using drugs to. I was recently having a conversation with some friends. They were telling me that they use drugs to relax. They use drugs to help them do a couple of things. I think this is an opinion fed into us. This is an opinion fed to us by some people so that we can consume these things. I've seen people get destroyed by drugs. I've seen people dropping out of engineering because of drugs. I've seen people dropping out of medicine because of drugs. People dropping out of courses. People ending up killing themselves, committing suicide and everything. The problem here is, again, these drugs, the people who sell them, the people who spread them across are, again, the ones who are putting responsible to curb them. Because, for instance, where I come from, Juja, it's a menace. I think it's even known nationally. Jamaica as a menace for drugs. So I think because we cannot control these people who supply the drugs, because, again, as I said, the ones responsible for curbing these things are the very people who propagate it. So I think it is up to us as individuals, get to realize that there are so many ways to relax. There are so many ways to run away from problems. So it's upon every individual youth to stop using the drugs. And then again, the government can chip in their way.
Final comment briefly.
I know Mandera is mostly Muslims who are in the society. And in our religion, like haram has been made haram for us. But unfortunately, we interpret alcohol is the only hamr. But hamr is anything that affects your reasoning. It affects how your functioning of your brain. So that's why you see, if you look at that list, it's saying bang, hashish and mira. Alcohol is not in it, but it's a misinterpretation that the Muslim youth have. They look at it that alcohol has been prohibited, but maybe mira is I think it's religious also. Ustads and sheikhs need to address this and sensitize that it's not only alcohol that it's prohibited for you, but bang also and other drugs which affect your reasoning.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. As a youth, as a community, I think we need to find ways in curbing drugs menace, because insecurity depends on that. Corruption is also that. Education is that. Thank you so much, Odada. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for coming. Your input is very important. We've helped us and the listener and the viewer outside there. Na mtazamaji, sina budi ila kutamatisha awamu yetu ya kwanza ya uchambuzi wa magazeti. Kipindi ni Sabah Show. Usiende mbali, tuangana na Mariam Mwacharo na Healthy Thursday. Jina langu ni Ibtisam Jamal kwa niaba ya Mariam Mwacharo. Topic, mada yetu ya leo itakuwa ni HIV and AIDS. Kumbuka ni Mariam Mwacharo. Shukran na usiende mbali.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
ndipo siku ya kiyama moja kwa moja ikaitwa yawmut talaq, siku ya kukutana. Kwa nini? Liannahu yaltaqi fihi alkhalq walkhaliq, viumbe watakutana na muumba, kama alivyosema Qatada na Muqatil. Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala katika Qur'ani yasema rafi'ud darajati dhul arshi. Rafi'ud darajat, yeye ndiye mwenye vyeo vya juu kabisa, tena mwenye enzi. yulqi ar-ruha min amrihi ala man yasha'u min ibadihi, hupeleka wahi wa amri yake kwa amtakaye katika waja wake, liyundhira yawm at-talaq, ili aonye siku ya kukutana naye.
On the next episode,
a house wherein Surah Al-Baqarah is recited, la yadkhuluhu shaitan. Shaitan will never enter that house. So if you recite Surah Al-Baqarah in a house, in your home, you are protecting yourself from Satan, from shaitan.
on the next episode,
waambie mimi sitofata matamanio ama hawa za nafsi zenu. Hii hawa ndiyo pingamizi na ndiyo kikwazo kikubwa kabisa kwa watu katika imani, au kuwa ni watiifu na wanyenyekevu kwa Allah tabaraka wa taala. Miongoni mwa itba'ul hawa ni fi'lul muharram, ni mtu kufanya yale ambayo yaliyoharamishwa. Ukijaribu kuangalia baina alhalali wal haram, dairatul halali awsa.
on the next episode,
I love to pray. I worship Allah. I love Allah.
I was more happier when I followed the Prophet's Sunnah. Allah had my back when no one did, so I pleased Him by trying to resist what He forbid.
We all love Allah. He gave us the sun and the moon and the stars. Pray Salah, pray 5 times a day. These are the pillars of Islam. Pray 5 times a day. Betty Butter bought some butter, but the butter was bitter.
on the next episode,
baadhi yetu kwenda kule haji, ama mtu anaenda haji, wakati ule badala ya kunyanyua mikono kumlilia Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, baadhi yetu tuko katika story za ball, story za siasa, story za nchi zetu, story za comedy. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Ama wengine wanaenda na simu pale, yuko katika Arafa, ni maselfie anapiga akitumia watu katika nchi zao. Wallahi ni mafadhaiko makubwa, ni masikitiko makubwa. Watu wanakuja wanafanya baadhi ya vituko ambazo kwamba si nzuri. Mtu anakuja katika uwanja wa Eid na t-shirt kina picha la Kidube, picha ya Bob Marley. Watu wanakuja kumtukuza Allah, wao wanakuja na miji picha ya Bob Marley, picha ya Cristiano.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching The Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obunga. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we will be discussing HIV and AIDS. HIV means human immunodeficiency virus. HIV attacks the immune system of the body. Over time, the immune system fails. This is what we call immunodeficiency, which exposes the body to risks of infection. This complication is what we call AIDS. There are two types of HIV, HIV-1 and HIV-2. HIV-1 is distinct in the US and other parts of the world, and 2, which is very rare, is common in Western Africa and Southern Asia. In fact, HIV-2 is so rare that when someone says HIV, they usually refer to HIV-1. HIV usually attacks the CD4 type T cells, which is a type of white blood cell that plays a major role in immunity. Now let us meet one HIV patient and learn how she goes by with her family living with HIV. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Kwa majina ninaitwa hivyo Mustafa Hassan. Nimetoka huko sehemu za Northeastern, Ujia. Na niko na miaka 36. Nimeishi huko kwa miaka mingi, nimesoma mpaka 8 tu. Nilikuwa nakaa na shangazi yangu, sikuwa na mama na baba. Nimekuja 96 huko Nairobi. Hii ugonjwa 99 ndio nimeolewa. Nikazaa mtoto wa kwanza. 2000 nikazaa second born. 2003 nikazaa watatu. 2005 nikazaa huyo mwingine wa 4. Alafu 2011 nikazaa huyo mwingine. Sasa hii ugonjwa niko na kama miaka 8 sasa. Tangu nianzie na miaka 8, 2011 ndio nilijijua. Wakati nilimzaa huyu mtoto sikuwa nimeenda kliniki. Kwa nimepata mimba, nikazaa bahati mbaya kwa nyumba nikiwa na mwezi 7. Kaanza kugonjeka, nikakosa damu ambayo hata siwezi kusimama. Mtoto nilimzaa na kilo 1. Mwezi 7 alikuwa na kilo 1 na mimi mwenyewe nimeishiwa na damu. Nimelala hata siwezi kumshughulikia. Na hata sikumpeleka hospitali. Tukaishi hivyo. Mpaka ikafika mahali damu ikaisha kabisa, nikalazwa hospitali. Kwa damu karibu 0.5 hivi. Kiendelea tu hivyo, tukaanza madawa mimi na mtoto alianzishwa dawa akiwa na miezi 1.5. Hapo tu vile niligonjeka tu hivi, hata sikukawia. Nilipelekwa kajijua, nikaanzishiwa dawa. Pia mtoto akaanzishiwa hapo dawa akiwa na mwezi kama 1.5 hivi. Mpaka leo hii tunaendelea na madawa.
Ilaha illallah. When I see the sunrise, I know it's a brand new day. I'm giving thanks to Allah for showing me the way. And I am feeling alright, cause He is by my side. I know that everything will be okay. So let me hear you say.
Times have come now that we understand HIV is not a disease that can just be contacted by talking or sitting together with those people. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, our fathers and mothers. And we need to give them love. Those people, they can even adjust themselves to this problem if we give them love. I don't see anything that can make me run away from a friend or my brother or my sister who is having HIV. Instead, I would even go further to see how well I can help him.
First thing you have to, after accepting it, be at a level that you can eat, you do much exercise, and you accept. That's the final thing. And then another thing, you can just go for reconciliation and counseling. You get counsel, then you just be at a better level.
By using health products, telling him how well he should eat, and also accepting that he's already in the condition. So it is a matter of accepting that I'm already infected and life has to continue.
Maisha yangu yamebadilika kwa sababu hata wakati baba yao alikufa, nilikuwa na nguvu, hata sikukufa roho. Nilishukuru Mwenyezi Mungu na niliendelea. Nikalea watoto wangu mpaka wa kwanza akamaliza, hata kumaliza ilimharibikia form 3 shule. Nilishindwa kumlipia. Hawa wengine wakaenda secondary 2016, akaanza form 1 huyu hapa. Ndugu ya baba wao akanisaidia. Hivyo mpaka leo hii ako form 4. Moja kwa form 1, moja kwa 8. Huyu mdogo hata hajaenda shule. Kuanzia hapo kitu 2015, 2016 sasa ndo nimeisha nguvu. Nimeshindwa hata kujifanyia hiyo kibarua. Mimi hata nikitoka kwa nyumba hata kutembea mbali mpaka kwa choo hata kutembea ni shida. Na si eti sina shida nyingine, hivyo ni miguu. Hakuna mahali sijaenda, mara ninaambiwa ni pressure, mara ni ulcers. TB dawa nimekunywa, hata ya kuzuia nimekunywa. Sasa hata sijui ni nini, ninaishi tu hivi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're having a lovely day. You are watching the Stay Healthy Show on Horizon TV. And today, we'll not be discussing an unfamiliar topic, HIV and AIDS. And I'm joined by our very own Professor Karama, who's also the Deputy Vice Chancellor at University and is very familiar with the medical field in terms of research. Yeah. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today, Professor?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very fine.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillah. I think I'm very happy to discuss this topic of HIV. Majority of people have a lot of misconception about the origin of HIV, and there are lots of myths about the disease.
So what's the origin? What's the origin of HIV?
There's a lot of debate and disagreements between local scientists in Kenya and those from the Western countries that the origin of the HIV virus might have come from Africa, from the animals possibly in the Congo forest, and that there's a process known as mutation, where the viruses change and adjust themselves to human beings. This is one of the versions of the belief. The second version is the African concept that this could have been maybe a laboratory manufactured virus that possibly this is some suggestions, possibly to address the increasing population of African people. So all in all, the disease exists. It's a real disease. It has to be there. We don't need to work with the myths and the histories and whatever. We have to address the disease as it is.
So what is HIV and AIDS?
Yes, HIV is, we say somebody has been infected with the virus when you get infected with the virus. And that is through any one of the methods or modes of transmission, either through contact with body fluids of a person who is infected, or sexual contact, or childbirth or something like that. And then when the virus enters your body, it attacks the CD4 cells. A human being has about between 500 to 1,500 these cells, the CD4 cells, in every cubic milliliter of blood. And when these are attacks, when the HIV attacks these cells, your immune system gets down. And then you are exposed now to the many diseases. This is where we really have to appreciate the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are given a lot of immunity. Without that immunity, we would be suffering a lot of diseases that are in our environments. So when you get the infection in your body and then the CD4 cells are cleared in your blood and they reach the levels below 200, then you start exhibiting signs of diseases and infections that are associated with the low immunity level. And this is when we say you have AIDS. AIDS is a combination of syndrome, like you have some of the cancers, you have some of the oral thrush in your mouth, you lose body weight, you have coughs, and so on. These are signs of and the symptoms of AIDS. When somebody gets AIDS, if possibly that person does not get treatment before, then you are likely to die in maybe 2 years or thereabout. However, HIV is a slow acting virus. It takes quite a bit of time for people to go from infection to exhibit signs of AIDS. And once somebody gets infected, there's a period that we refer to as the short acute period, when there's a high fever immediately, and then everything stops, and then you have a window period of about 3 months when the virus cannot even be detected in your blood. Okay?
So you could possibly have it, but you do not know.
You do not know, and you may not, and tests may not reveal the issue. So it is only later on, unless you use very complicated modern technologies in diagnosis, it may not be seen. But once it is seen, and that is the importance of people getting to know their status, especially those who are in risky behaviors or are in contact with drugs somehow, or in contact with sharp objects and so on. So that way, once you know the disease, at the moment, HIV is not a very serious matter. We have technology, and science has advanced so much that those who are infected can also get treatment, can get medication, to the level that the virus is so much, the viral load is so low that it may not be detectable in the blood. So HIV, I would say that the modes of transmission of HIV, 80% is through sex. And this is because HIV transmitted through body fluids. You know, like blood, like saliva, like semen and things like that. And the sexual contact contributes about 80% of the infections. And then it is also much higher amongst the vulnerable group, commercial sex workers. So, and then the sharp objects, you know, like needles, and also the people who share injections and they share the needles can also get infected.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema
akasisitiza akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kwa kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories,
ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha.
Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
On the next episode,
I love to pray. I worship Allah. I love Allah.
I was more happier when I followed the Prophet's Sunnah. Allah had my back when no one did, so I pleased Him by trying to resist what He forbade.
We all love Allah. He gave us the sun and the moon and the stars. Pray Salah, pray 5 times a day. These are the pillars of Islam. Pray 5 times a day. Betty Butter bought some butter, but the butter was bitter.
Wale ambao Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amewachagua kuongoza walimwengu ni ili sisi pia tufaidike kwa mazingatio na masomo. Je, idadi ya manabii wa Allah ni ngapi? Miongoni mwa hao manabii 315 peke yake ndio ambao walikuwa ni mitume. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ametaja manabii na mitume 25 kwa jina. Peace be upon them.
Angalia Uislamu ulipoanza ulianzaje? Ulianza kwa istidraj, ulianza kwa polepole. Wewe Adam alayhi salam, si umeonyeshwa kwamba ni bora kuliko malaika? Hawa malaika wamekusujudia wewe, kwa hivyo hata ukiwa malakaini ni jambo kubwa kwa hakika, na wao wamekusujudia wewe. Mwenyezi Mungu subhanahu wa ta'ala anasema, wala talbisul haqqa, musichanganye haki au kweli bilbatili na uongo. Katika tembo kuna dhambi nyingi na faida kidogo. Ukiwa wewe unasoma Qur'ani, ni uzuri utizame katika msahafu, ufikirie yale unayoyasoma.
Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu, Qur'ani pumbao langu. Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Aside from sex, maybe could you come from a barber shop and maybe 3 months later see that you have HIV?
The barber shop is not a very common thing, but in the early stages of this epidemic, the dentists and other medical practitioners, including doctors also, they had prick emergencies. They got in emergencies by pricking themselves with the needles that are infected. But that is much, much less now. But also with the barber shop, you need to be careful. When you go there, you make sure that the equipment that are used are well disinfected, and you have a reliable person who does that. And also in the home, where we share some of these objects for shaving or for nail cutting or things like that, so that we take care and prevent infection.
I know we've talked about saliva. Does that mean if I drink from a cup,
or that has been used by somebody who's infected with HIV, I will also get the virus?
No, not really. The infection through utensils, it's almost zero. And this is important also so that we do not stigmatize people who are infected with the virus, like keeping them away, keeping them with their utensils, and it doesn't help very much.
You've talked about treatment at some point. Does it mean that HIV can be treatable?
Yes, it can be managed.
Okay.
It can be managed, but it's not curable. However, the drugs that have been there in the past, people had to use a lot of drugs.
Yes.
Some of them, because of the high morbidity or the burden of disease, they needed to use maybe 3 or 4 times a day. But there has been marked improvement in the combination of this treatment, that some people only use maybe once and so on. And the most important thing about HIV treatment is the adherence to the instructions by the doctors, that when you are required to take your treatment, you must take it in time. Because if you delay and you miss your treatment, you're also giving the chance for the virus to react and be able to resist the drugs in future.
So that
So
means
it's
the
very
HIV
important.
virus can also mutate.
Yes, yes, it can be able to change its structure, especially if somebody does not adhere to treatment properly. Then it acquaints itself to the medication, and then the medication does not work in you.
So last but not least, let's talk about, how you can prevent, say, for example, if you're living with a family member who's HIV positive, how safe can you live with this person? I'm not saying that they're dangerous, but yes, how's the best way to live with them? Protect you and them.
Yes, one of the things that is important to understand is that the virus cannot survive outside the body. So normally it is in the body. And the most important thing also is to understand that you can't get HIV through the air, and you can't get HIV through the contact. Somebody greeting you and then you say, please, no, don't greet me, you're HIV. That doesn't happen. So it's a viral infection that you have to get into close contacts with body fluids to be infected. So we don't need to discriminate, we don't need to stigmatize our relatives or our friends who are HIV positive. Yes.
I think it's also important to mention, before HIV used to be a dangerous disease, but right now it's so easy to live with it. You can actually, the most important thing is to actually accept. It's really difficult. Most people do not accept. They feel like it's a death sentence. Maybe you can say a word or two to HIV positive people out there.
Yes, I think like many other diseases that were there in the past, it took quite a bit of time to get the proper treatment.
Yes.
And that is the direction that we have with the HIV. So the people who are infected should have hope that there will be soon. Even the treatment that is there now, it's very good. It has less side effects, and it is very, it changes somebody's life. You can live your normal life healthy. You can control your viral load, and you can live a comfortable life even with HIV virus. And to the relatives of people who are HIV positive, they should also not discriminate against them. It is important for us to understand that this is a very new disease. Many things are not known about it.
Yes.
And therefore, there are situations that somebody can live with a partner who is HIV positive, and this is what we refer to as discordance couples. However, this situation is still being studied to understand how people, one person can be infected and another one. So my advice to our viewers is that whatever the circumstance, if one partner is infected, or even if both of them are infected, it is important to understand that the level of infection are different between people. One could have a very high viral load and different type of HIV or subtypes. if maybe the husband got infected with HIV-1 subtype A, and the wife maybe has a different infection. So we need to use protective measures in order that we live comfortably so that we don't have super infection.
Okay, so before we go there, you've mentioned that there's HIV type 1, type B. There are types of...
There are subtypes of HIV, but commonly we have the HIV type 1, but we have the different subclades of HIV, depending on where one gets infected. So there's HIV 1A, B, C, and so on, but it's the same virus. However, it could be slightly different. So, and then the viral load could be different depending on the individual body. So if somebody has a lower immunity, so the viral load will be higher. So if we continue having sex, for example, with a discordant couple, or even with a concordant couple, that means both of them are having HIV, it will mean there will be super infection. That means I will reach the other partner to the level of HIV that may be very high. So it is important to advise the people that in such a situation, they should use protective sex. And this is acceptable in Islam. For any reason, we can use protective sex, such as condoms and such things to keep, you know, the comfort of life without having to reinfect each other. And then also in such a circumstance, couples may wish to have children. It is important that if they want to have a children, then they need to consult a medical practitioner, that they can do, you know, either fertilization through cleaning of the sperm of the virus, which can happen. That's possible. And then they still can have children and and live together happily. Yes.
So how about when, say, I am a mother and I'm HIV positive and I would like to have a child. Say, yes, we have done the sperm cleaning and I conceived. There is a possibility for the child getting the virus, right?
Yes. There's there are three ways a child can get infected from a mother. One is in the womb. If a mother has some kind of an infection or something, and the child in the womb may get infected, but that's very rare. And then the second method that a child can, mode of transmission to the child, is during childbirth. It is important that mothers who are HIV positive, that they get special medical attention to reduce the chances of getting. In the early stages of HIV epidemic, about 45% of mothers, of children who are born from HIV positive mothers, will be also HIV positive. And this is where we talked of the mother to child transmission. The last method that a child can get HIV from the mother is through breast milk. Breast milk is one of the body fluids. So a child can also get HIV through the mother's milk, and therefore it is advised that positive mothers should have alternative feeds, but if the mother cannot afford, then it is recommended that a child can be breastfed, you know, exclusively, and that means the benefit of the breast milk can be useful to the child in terms of nutritional value, and also in terms of the immune.
Once a child is born, breast milk usually provides immunity, you know, to the child. So does that mean they can never breastfeed from the mother at all?
It is advised that they should not if the mother has an alternative. Artificial feeds. Yes, and that can help, especially the cholesterol. You know, the fast, that heavy milk has a lot of benefits to But scientists believe that the child's stomach has a high level of acidity, that the child may survive with the milk that has the virus, but then because of the acidity in the stomach, that the virus may not survive in the intestine of the child.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching The Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Who annoys you most? How do we be around annoying people that we have to be? This is a really important question for me. And I remember being at a development course where I saw this guy who was so laid back and he was so chilled out. I mean, the way he spoke, the way he walked, the way he did everything. So I thought, you know what? This guy knows. So I went to him and I said, you seem like a great, calm, chilled out person. Can you tell me, how do you stay like that when you're around annoying people? So he said something which was very profound for me. He said, I just remember that however they're behaving is about them and not me. Now I had to think about this for a second, but I realized he was absolutely right. Most of the time when people are annoying us, it's because they're behaving in a way we believe they shouldn't. And subconsciously, we believe that it's related to us or it's our fault in some way. This, of course, isn't true, because however someone chooses to react is down to them and the choices they make. So let's take an example. Imagine that I came to you and I verbally attacked you and I abused you. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel bad, right? What if a few minutes later I come back to you and I say, listen, everything I just said to you, it's all about me. It's got nothing to do with you. It's because of the stuff that's going on in my life right now. How do you feel? Better, right? You feel better even though I didn't apologize. Why? Because I've told you that it's not your fault. So the way to be around annoying people is to remember that their behavior has nothing to do with you. Now, one last question before I go. If you think I'm annoying, who is that about? You, right? So the real question is, who is the annoying person? Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. So back to the couple. It is important, I know, to get tested before, say, marriage, especially for us, Muslims. But say, for example,
my husband is HIV positive. I simply am asking, how do we go about copulation to make a child?
Yes.
How is the sperm like cleaning? How do we go about that?
Yes, I think this is one thing that has to be really decided upon very clearly, that a woman who chooses to be married by somebody who is HIV positive, there must be very good agreements, and there must be all the necessary precautions. Normally the sperm may not be infected with the virus, but then the fluid around may be infected. So sometimes we have technologies now that the sperm can be used to artificially ovulate the womb, the woman, and that they can get a child. Yes.
Biological normal processes, it's not possible.
Yeah, we take chances, because not all children born of parents who are HIV positive will be positive. Definitely. But then it's taking a chance. Yeah. So the best thing is to make sure that some medical technologies that is available could be used to ensure that you don't infect or you don't get a child who is infected. Yeah.
Let me ask a very, let me say, weird or queer question. In the beginning, when diseases started affecting man and science was still rudimentary, let me use that word, there were very simple diseases that would kill somebody. Do you feel that in the future we could find a cure for HIV and AIDS?
Yes, there has been marked improvement in diseases. For example, tuberculosis was a disease when you got it in the past. You would take 18 months treatment to get cured. Today you can get cured of TB because of the improvement of science. Within 6 months you can get cured. We hope that it will be possible in the future, because medical science is improving every day.
As we close, you did mention that AIDS is accumulation of different viruses. Someone who's HIV positive is definitely then prone to other diseases.
Yes, I want to correct you there that AIDS is not a combination of different viruses. It's a combination of different signs and symptoms of diseases that attack you. And these we refer to them as opportunistic infections. For example, one of the most common opportunistic infection that attacks a human being who is HIV positive is the tuberculosis. And then the meningitis and the others. These are diseases that attack the human being because of the lowered immune levels. Yeah. So it's the same virus, but then you are now exposed to different diseases because of your immune level has been lowered.
Okay, so the correct thing to say is that HIV attacks your immune system.
For you now to get a combination of different diseases that attack your systems. Yes. The most important thing is that we should address stigmatization amongst Muslim community. Stigmatization enhances the transmission of the disease. When people have to travel very far away to take their drugs so that they are not seen in their neighborhood. This compliance and adherence to treatment is hindered by that.
Stigmatization is still an issue right now?
It is still amongst.
I know you have traveled very many counties in the country and outside in East Africa. Where are some of the places you visited you have seen such cases?
Yeah, we have in the Muslim community, we're also affected. Where HIV is very high amongst the other communities, it's also very high amongst the Muslims. Nyanza, for example, it's still there. Yes.
So next episode, inshallah, we'll be talking about tuberculosis, since it has been mentioned on this particular episode. Thank you very much for joining me. Do share your comments on our social media pages, and we will get back to you on any questions you may have asked. Till next time, ma'asalam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. On the topic of HIV/AIDS, we learned that HIV and AIDS is a disease that originated in the tropics and that there are many beliefs on how it came to be. In this segment, we will take a look at some of the myths surrounding HIV and AIDS. Many believe that HIV was a plan by some scientists to reduce the population of already struggling countries. Another misconception of HIV is that one may know by looking at a person that they are infected, which is not true. People may actually appear very healthy, and one cannot tell if the other suffers from HIV and AIDS. Last but not least is that someone may be infected by shaking an infected person's hand or hugging, sharing utensils, especially drinking from the same glass or eating from the same spoon and saliva. This is not true. You can share utensils with an infected person and not get the HIV virus. There are many misconceptions, but these are the major ones. HIV is actually transmitted via body fluids such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. We learned that HIV attacks the immune system of the body, weakening it, hence reducing the body's T cells. When the body's T cells drop below 200 to 500 cells per cubic millimeter, patients experience the following symptoms. When they drop below 200 cells per cubic millimeters, then the immune system becomes severely compromised and HIV becomes AIDS. At this point, people experience fever, fatigue, weight loss, and diarrhea. HIV increases in the blood significantly and patients experience what we call the AIDS-defining symptoms. Many people die of infections that a healthy body would normally be able to fight. Most common forms of HIV transmission are male-to-male transmission, common in the US, male-to-female transmission, and rarely female-to-male because the virus exists in the vaginal and cervical fluids. This constitutes 75% of infections through sex. Other modes of infection are intravenous drug abuse, mother-to-child via the placenta, at delivery, or through breast milk, accidental needle sticks, blood transfusion, among others. You can do different types of tests for HIV diagnosis. There is the antibody test, antigen test, RNA/DNA test. Take a look. The most commonly done test is the antigen test, which is better at identifying early infection. To help fight HIV and AIDS, the world comes together on December 1st to show support for people living with HIV and to commemorate those who died from an HIV-related illness. Founded in 1988, World AIDS Day was the first ever global health day. Enough talk about HIV. See you on the next episode.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.